Let's have a quick conversation about some products that you should avoid dropshipping. Okay, it's not really worth it because when you think about the consequences legally, in terms of regulatory, in terms of logistics, it's just crazy. You don't want to go there. Okay, so the first category of products that you should avoid is big products. Boss, I don't care if the product is so profitable that you want to engage in it. If it's too big, stay away from it. You know why? Because one of the biggest reasons dropshipping from China is so popular is because of e-packet. But in order to use e-packet, you must know that your package has some limitations, right? Like a maximum length and weight. So the maximum length of an e-packet package can only be 60 centimeters. Hear me out. And the total of the length, height, and thickness of the package cannot be more than 90 centimeters. Okay. So also the package cannot weigh more than 2 kilograms. So I want you to really picture those dimensions and and the weight here, because if you have if you hit those thresholds, you'll be disappointed because you're not going to be able to ship the products. Okay, and even if you're not drop shipping from China, big products could still be a problem for you. For example, heavier items will probably cost extra in shipping fees and they will be harder to manage them too. Okay, so really think about that. Okay, and one thing to note is that big products could be collapsible. This means what? It means the big product comes folded so that it can easily fit into the e-packet requirements. Okay, and if something really does not work, this could be a this would be really detrimental to your business. So stay away from big products. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having this sort of convo every now and then. So make yourself comfortable. Me casa too, casa. We're having a convo real quick about the product you should avoid drop shipping. Number one, big products. Number two, products you cannot advertise on Facebook. Very important. Things like unregulated supplements, adult products, third-party infringements, surveillance equipments, counterfeit products, health products before and after, controversial products, weapons, tobacco products, drugs, and drug-related products. Okay, though this constellation, and of course the list is not exhaustive, but this constellation of products you should really stay away from. You know why? Because if you were to actually go with such products and you can't advertise them on Facebook, chances are you cannot advertise them also on YouTube. Where are you going to advertise them, boss? If you can't advertise them, how are you going to draw revenue? Okay, so stay away from those products. Number three, I want you to stay away from counterfeits and copyrighted products. This is really important. The thing here is that you probably understand that counterfeit and copyrighted products you can't advertise on Facebook. Okay, and the thing here is that copyrighted products are products that have been copied from a brand. This is simple as that. Okay, so not being able to advertise this product on Facebook is not the only reason you should not add this product to your dropshipping store. Plus, think about it. And I don't care if you have a standalone dropshipping store or you are selling on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and so on and so forth. A big reason you want to stay away from a copyrighted and counterfeit product is that it has to do with your credibility. It has to do with your reputational loss, reputational risk. Think about it. People can get disappointed in you and your store altogether if they expect the product to be real, only to then later on find out that the product was a counterfeit. Think about it. Okay. And by the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you, today's topic, we're having a convo about certain products you should avoid drop shipping. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is that, it takes years. Sometimes it takes years to build reputation in this dropshipping industry. So are you willing to just lose that reputation just because you're trying to make a few bucks here and there by actually selling counterfeit and copyrighted products? Come on, boss. Okay. So the thing here is that you also risk legal troubles if certain companies find out that you have been selling counterfeits of their products. Of course, you need to understand, you don't want to actually fight against Nike or fight against L'Oreal or those biggies in the industry, okay? I mean, the whole thing is just wrong. I mean, if you are going to make money, try to make money the right way, okay? So you want to totally stay away from counterfeit products. You want to stay away from copyrighted products, okay? Do your own thing and be proud of your own thing. Don't try to really make money, make some dollars off of somebody else's hard work, okay? And one thing you also need to understand here is that, You want to establish a relationship with your clients. You want to have a long-term relationship, and all relationships, whether it is in business or in real life, are based on trust. Okay, if your clients cannot trust you, then you lost everything. Number four, you want to stay away from dropshipping watches. I mean, a lot of people chose that they chose the watch niche when they start with dropshipping. You know, honestly, based on our research for the last 10 years, we would advise you to stay away from that niche unless you have the proper experience to deal with all the competition that's inside that niche. You really don't stand a chance. Okay. And the thing is, that you might be thinking, well, yeah, I think it's profitable. It's a very profitable niche, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But do you know that some people link this watch stores with scam stores? Okay, this is because most people who start dropshipping start with the free plus shipping method, and guess what kind of product they will most likely add? Exactly, watches. So if you're interested in basically in learning more, just drop us your questions below, and we'll certainly answer you. But the thing is, for now, if you are starting, or if you are an established dropshipper anyway, you want to stay away from watches, unless again you have the proper experience. Number five, you want to stay away from potentially dangerous products. Okay. I'm not even talking here about hazmats though. I mean, hazmats, totally, you understand. You have to stay away from hazmats, hazardous material. Yes, but potentially dangerous products. So, for example, knives. Not only because you cannot advertise it on Facebook, weapons, but also because what you think happens when a customs. What do you really think? When a customs officer finds out that there is a knife in the package, think about it. Because see, the whole thing is when you drop ship, people just think like the drop shipping thing is some kind of a isolated theoretical thing. No, drop shipping is happening in real life. Okay, there is a customs officer who's going to open a package and see stuff. And if the package sort of passes a muster, then they will let it go. If not, they'll just seize it, whatever, and they'll destroy, or they'll just summon the shipper. Okay, so every country has its own laws for what you can and cannot import into that country. So it's best to research those restrictions on what you can import. Okay, if you're not really sure about a product, don't drop ship it. And if you're not sure like which country you're going to sell to, then just check the laws of that country, okay, before doing anything. This is really important, okay? Before you do everything, do research, research, research. Number six, you want to really stay away from fragile products. I mean, if you drop shipping Chinese products from China, then the product delivery time, the delivery takes some time, right? And before the product gets delivered, you have to think about the handling too. There is a big chance that during this time, the package will get some external impact, for example, when it's loaded on the delivery truck, okay? And no one likes to receive broken items, do you? Okay, so this is why products that are made or contain something like glass are very risky. These products have a high chance of breaking. If you still want to dropship or want to try dropshipping these products, it's just better to talk to your supplier. It's just better that way because you need to have an intermediary, okay? And you need to find out how they protect their products, what kind of packaging materials they're going to use, and so on and so forth, okay? And you want to read reviews to see what other people are thinking about their purchase because, it's really important to see the feedback. Did they receive a broken product or not, okay? Boss, I want to quickly remind you once again about today's topic. We're having a conversation about products you should avoid drop shipping. So I spoke to you about big products you can't advertise on Facebook, counterfeit and copyrighted products, watches, potentially dangerous products, fragile products. And now let's talk about another one, clothing and shoes. Oh yeah, clothing and shoes. I mean, I know a lot of folks are thinking, there's a lot of money to be made in clothing and shoes when it comes to drop shipping. That's true. But hey, listen, you want to be very, very, very careful here. This goes for all the products that need sizing, mainly clothes. A lot of people return this kinds of product because they ordered the wrong size or they ordered the right size, but the product is in Asian sizing and they didn't know that, okay? Or worse, they ordered a lot of different sizes to then return the ones that don't fit. So you not only say if you're not ready to deal with these kinds of returns, we suggest not picking any products yet they have different sizes available. Okay, so this is really important because again, those returns back and forth, who do you think is going to pay for the return? You are paying for the return. And when you pay for the return, that means what? Less profit for you. So you're basically financing the customers' habits of free returns and free refunds. Okay, so be very careful when drop shipping clothing and shoes. We definitely advise you against drop shipping clothing and shoes unless you know exactly what you're doing and you have mastered all the important elements of the logistical value chain. Number eight, you want to stay away from electronic products. Boss, this is so important. If you're drop shipping, you can't see the product before they go to your customers, right? Because I really want you to think about that. Which means what? It means that you and your customer cannot be 100% sure that the product is in perfect order. So this is hard for you when you're drop shipping electronic products because a lot can go wrong with these kinds of products. Okay, so here are some examples of electronics you should avoid altogether. Altogether, I really mean it. So products with batteries, you want to stay away from those. Razors, you want to stay away from those. Cell phones, you want to stay away from those. Security cameras, stay away from those. Okay, you as the dropshipper are liable. Remember that. Okay, if something goes wrong with the product, you need to deal with the returns. And again, as I just said, who is paying for those returns? Who's paying for who's giving the refunds? You. Everything is coming from your paycheck, so to speak, from your income. Okay, and you could be liable if your customer get injured by your products. That's why it's just better to sell relevant accessories and spare parts than electronic products. Number 9, you want to really avoid mainstream products. Now, mainstream products are very simple. Those are products that can be found and bought almost anywhere. And this is really important. And now, this might sound counterintuitive for you, but it is really important because when you have mainstream products, you know the competition is huge because the product is already saturated. Demand is saturated. Supply is saturated. Okay, so you can't make money. You need to find unique products that cannot be easily found in a physical store. So don't try to sell any day products like toilet paper without having a unique factor. Okay, toilet paper that changes color. Wow, I've never seen that before. I'll buy it. Okay. Of course, you could still decide to sell mainstream products, but give your visitors a reason to buy from you. Give them a reason to basically wait longer than if they would have bought it at the store next door anyway, maybe even cheaper. So this is called USP. What is your unique selling proposition? What is your unique selling profile? Okay, and you got to have a USP. If you don't have a USP, don't even try to sell mainstream products. Another one here is healthcare. Okay, so healthcare is kind of important too. Like as I said earlier, Facebook bans ads that show before and after results in the ad picture or video. Okay, so you'll see a lot of images, a lot of things that sometimes Facebook's like, listen, we aren't playing that game. Okay, so please stay away from healthcare and also stay away from any consumables for safety reasons. Okay, something like weight loss pills or vitamins. Okay, if you really want to sell any of those products, please do research carefully, know what you're selling. Okay, also some countries have laws in place about what you can sell and what you cannot sell. So be very careful about that. Number 11, you want to think about safety equipment. Boss, this is so important. Safety equipment is really important. Now, this is a big one. Okay, let me start off with some examples of products that fall into this category. You have helmets. You have mouth guards, you have shoulder and knee pads. Okay. Now, let me take an example to sort of illustrate for you what the risk really is. Okay. Let's say somebody buys a helmet from you. What do you think happens when that person gets into an accident and your helmet doesn't hold up and just completely breaks? If something happens to that person, you will most likely get sued for having a faulty product. That's why we suggest that you stay away from those products. Okay. Of course, unless you've done your research and you're comfortable with the safety issue, with the safety elements here, you should really stay away from those products altogether. Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about staying away from products in general, from dropshipping products, I'm not saying that you should not give them a chance. I'm just saying that you want to proceed with caution. In other words, if you believe that the profits in that sector, the profits on that product are like they outweigh the risk that you're taking, then it's really worth it. I mean, but definitely not in the case that I just gave you about the helmet. You definitely don't want that. I mean, it's not really worth it because anything that touches human beings, anything that touches human beings, the risk is just so high. Because if people sue your ass, you are toast. You are out of there. I mean, you are out of business. And because anything that has like if you have malpractice or errors and admission, it's just crazy. Not admission, errors and omission. This could be problematic and really devastating for your dropshipping store. So please stay away from safety equipment. Number 12, you want to avoid dropshipping cosmetics. The thing is, if you want to start a cosmetics niche dropshipping store, we suggest starting with selling stuff that's related to cosmetics. For example, makeup brushes, okay? Because you don't know anything about the cosmetics that will go onto your customer's face, like foundation, eyeshadows, or lipsticks. A lot could go wrong. Okay. For example, your customer could end up with allergies like an allergic reaction or skin irritation after using your product because their skin might be allergic to an ingredient that you didn't even know was inside the product. Okay. So, boss, what I'm trying to say here is that there are health consequences. So, whenever you have a health consequence, make sure that you stay away from that product. Okay. It's basically the same as with the safety equipment. Okay. We do not suggest selling it unless you know exactly what the product is made up of. Okay. The last but not the least here, I want you to stay away from waterproof products. Now you might be thinking why? Well, it's because that, of course, the safety, of course, but also need to know what the product is made up of. Okay. Most of the time, you don't know if the product is even waterproof, and if so, how far, how long it can go officially underwater. So what could end up happening is that your customer tests the products underwater. Then after that, the product is broken. Okay. Or even worse, it breaks something else from your customer. For example, if you sell a waterproof phone case and it turns out to be not that waterproof, what do you think will happen? If your customer finds out, they are going to trash your store. So you are going to actually bear all the responsibilities here. So when you really think about all these things, you got to ask yourself, as I said, as I always say, you want to ask yourself, what is the profit versus what is the liability? So if something were to go bad, what is my potential risk? Okay, and if you realize that the risk is just higher than the profit, then you really want to stay away from the product. It's really also important to understand how you are going to respond. Okay, because it's not just about, hey, listen, yeah, somebody's suing your ass, and how are you going to respond? Are you going to also go like fight, or are you going to just accept whatever whatever they say you are doing wrong? Okay. So those are the products that we believe you should actually avoid drop shipping. I'm sure there are other products. I'm sure there are gazillions of products you should not drop ship, whether in the United States or overseas. But just answer us in the answer section below. What do you think of the video, and what are some of the items you believe should never be drop shipped anyway to start with? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.